Hello everyone, welcome. You are watching Stamping with Hart. My name is Melinda Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I have this really cute window card using two bundles today, the Scary Cute bundle and then also the Window Wishes bundle. And I have a free project sheet for all of you today as well. If you are interested, you can click the link in the description box below if you'd like to learn more about how to get the free project sheet for this card. So let's go ahead and talk about this just a little bit. The Window Wishes bundle is a favorite of mine in the mini catalog this year, and I knew I was going to be using it for multiple occasions. So I wanted to do a Halloween version here in the tutorial, meaning the video tutorial today is going to demonstrate how to make this card in the Halloween version, but I also have a Christmas version of the card. I will have the photo here on the video here for a minute. And then I also will have the Christmas version of the photo on my blog and on the project sheet. If you are interested in seeing a full tutorial on the Christmas version of the card, let me know. But I'm trying something new today where we're going to do just the Halloween card, but the concept is the same. The layout is the same, but we switch out the stamp set when we get to the Christmas card, which I'll talk about a little bit more at the end. So getting started here, this is a slimline card that we are going to be working with here today. And for the slimline card, I took the basic white cardstock and I cut and scored it. So 8.5 is the length measurement by 7 inches. And then I scored at the 3.5 inch mark. Here we have the blending brushes. You can get the blending brushes in a set of 3 in our annual catalog. If you're interested in the products that I have used today, you can find a full product list on my blog. There will also be a full product list on the free project sheet. So we are going to use two in colors today. We're going to use Orchid Oasis and we're going to use Starry Sky to create a evening scene card. And the question that I asked on my Facebook Live and that I will ask all of you as well here in the replay is, do you create a lot of stamped scene cards? I would love to know. I would also love to know if you make Halloween cards or if you go straight to Thanksgiving and Christmas. So if you are willing to share that with me, please let me know. You can leave a comment below and be sure to say hi, whether you're watching live or in the replay. You can also always find the full version of the replays where we kind of talk and chat and go through comments and things like that on my Facebook page. But for my YouTube channel, I usually will do a specific version, cutting it right down to the tutorial for those of you who like to craft along with me, or for those of you who like to see a little bit more of an abbreviated version of the projects that we create. So with the blending brushes, I'm using 2 brushes tonight, one for each color because we're using a significant amount of the color here. So these are part of the In Color collection for 2022 to 2024, I believe is what the In Colors are now, right? So we started with Orchid Oasis all over the front of the card base. And now what I'm doing is bringing in Starry Sky and coming in with the darkest color at the top of the card and then working my way down. And that's because by the time we get down to the bottom of the card, which is where our trick-or-treaters are going to be in silhouette, I want the color there to be a little bit lighter because I really want those trick-or-treaters to stand out in the night sky. We want a little bit of a spooky scene, but we also really want this card to be cute. Now, there is a good amount of die cutting on this card. And before I get into that, we are going to be using the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper for both cards, the Halloween and the Christmas card. The tutorial will show everything for the Halloween card, and then for the Christmas card, I'll have the information on my blog. But both of the pieces of paper are coming from Gingham Cottage, which I think is one of the most versatile paper packs that we have in our collection right now. So we're going to use this pumpkin pie with the sort of crisscross gingham that we have going on there. And we're going to cut the full panel for the front of the card. So we're also cutting this to 3.5 by 8.5. And that's the black and white side if you would want to use that side, which would also be really, really cute if you like the black, white, and purple theme or whatever you would like to do. So this is from the Window Wishes bundle. And the important thing to know about these dies is that detail die is what cuts into paper, and that overall arching bigger die is the one that cuts it out. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut 3 window panels into the designer series paper. So whenever you just use this piece, it's going to cut in and not cut out of the paper. And that's what we want, because we just want to cut our 3 detailed windows in. And then I'll show you how we're going to cut the other window piece out. Okay, so I will have measurements on my project sheet, but here's what I recommend if you are like me and you sort of like to eyeball it. Just focus on putting the window in the center of your designer series paper sheet, okay? And then you want to bookend it on either side with 2 more of the same die that, cut out. So we have the 3 windows. And just leave yourself a small bit of space in between each window. You don't want it to be too narrow. You want to be able to get glue on the back of it. And you also want to be able to fit that detail piece over it. Now, the detail piece that you're seeing there is actually pretty thin. So you don't need it to be too much space, but you have enough space to work with is the point. So if you want it centered the way that I did, then that's how you're going to do it. Now, in order to cut the full detail piece out, you need both of these dies. So where the detail piece cuts in and that outer frame cuts out, that will actually cut your detail piece out as well. And that's what we're doing. So this is basic black cardstock. And then of course, remove any excess pieces that you have in your dies, because you're going to do this 3 times total for your Halloween card. I decided to use basic black, but you could really have a lot of fun with this. You could use your foil paper, your specialty paper, whatever you want to do for your Halloween scene. I debated on using Orchid Oasis because I think that's such a great Halloween color too. So definitely up to you. But we're going to do this 3 times. So you're cutting 3 windows into the designer series paper. You're cutting 3 window frames out. You're also going to be cutting out some of these super cute bats from the Scary Cute bundle. So if you want to cut those at the same time, that's what I'm demonstrating here. There are multi-size bats here. We have large, medium, and small. We have several of each one, so you can go ahead and cut those all out at once if you want. There's some really cute dies in Scary Cute. You can cut out a little moon. You can cut out a cat, a haunted house. So whatever you want to put in your window scene is going to look adorable. And don't forget about Window Wishes. There are a lot of stamps from Window Wishes that you can use as well. We're actually going to be using one of the stamps from Window Wishes, that the kids are walking on, basically. So in that original card, it looks like they're almost walking on a tightrope. And then in the card that I created on the live, we're going to go ahead and fill that in so it looks a little bit more like the ground. But either way, it's really cute. So because we had done a lot of blending on our card base, I gave that just a little bit of time to dry while we were doing our die cutting. That's why I did it in that order. So it's totally up to you. Now, I decided to bring in my Stamparatus for this particular card because I thought it would be easier whenever you're working with a silhouette stamp and you want to get a really crisp black image. And whenever you want to line up your trick-or-treaters, because the windows are all aligned, I wanted to have the trick-or-treaters all aligned. And it's just going to be easier to do it with the Stamparatus. It's a stamp positioning tool. So we're just going to bring all of the elements together. We're not going to glue down that designer series paper panel yet. We just want to use this to line up all of our stamps. So what you're going to do is you're just going to position your stamps wherever you want them to fit in the window. And you're going to pick them up with the plate, with the Stamparatus plate. And then what we'll do is we will take the magnets that come with your Stamparatus. We're going to use that to secure everything in place so that if we do need to stamp and repeat, which we will be doing for the silhouette, We can do that without anything moving, right? Everything's going to stay in the same place. And that is one of the best features of the Stamparatus. So this is sort of a twofold thing. We're doing a 3-for-1 stamp here. We're going to get a nice crisp image with our silhouettes because we can, you know, re-ink as many times as we need to until we get it to the desired color. And they're all in perfect alignment. So I highly recommend this if you plan on doing a slimline card or if you plan on doing a multi-window card and you want to have certain positioning for your window scenes. I think it's just going to be great. And we are going to do a few stamps free-handed as well. But you can see after 3 layers with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, we have a really great crisp silhouette image for each one of our kids, each one of the trick-or-treaters. Now this is from Window Wishes, and this is like a little slope basically. And so what I was trying to do here was just line the slope up with the trick-or-treater's feet and then stamp that one. And I wanted to kind of get my alignment, you know, right. And I felt like it was going to come up too high on our little fairy princess. So I repositioned my stamp again before I stamped down. But then it worked out just fine for Frankenstein, so I did not have to move the stamp a third time. The concept was to try to get continuity with that ground that they're walking on. And again, we're stamping in that Memento Tuxedo Black ink, so we're kind of keeping our consistency here. We're keeping that scene. I think the blending brushes are a wonderful tool. I can't say that I'm mastered at it, but you know, the more you blend, the smoother it looks. And I love the way that that scene is coming together. So as you're lining this up, if there's anything that you need to fix, you can do that. But what I was trying to point out was that this time I wanted to go ahead and sponge some ink to make it look like they were walking on like a little grassy area or, you know, a little sidewalk or something like that. So I'm bringing in my mini sponge dauber with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm just doing a little bit of fill color underneath that line. I really wanted to try to keep it underneath the line. And I like to dab off before I go straight to the paper because it can look a little too harsh if you go straight to the paper with the color. And I had discovered with the mini sponge dauber that I had grabbed a green one and not the black one. So it's kind of a little bit of a mix of a green color and the Memento Black, which it ended up working out. It looks really cute, but that wasn't intentional. I thought I had grabbed my black mini sponger, but I hadn't. But I loved how the ground turned out. And so now we're just going to glue this panel down. This would also be great to do as a shaker card. I didn't do that here, but that would be a great option. You could use a window sheet, turn them into legitimate windows. You could use the foam adhesive strips. That would be so cute. But we're just using our multi-purpose glue to adhere this panel straight onto the card base. And you can see it is the full length. I didn't shorten it, so it is 3.5 by 8.5, which is the actual size of the card front for the Designer Series paper piece. Now we're going to do our detail window frames here, and we're just going to adhere all 3 of these in the basic black. And you can line that up where it has like a slight shadow to it, where you can see the orange peeking out, or you can line it up exactly, which is what I was trying to do, was line it up exactly so that you really can't see the orange in the window. So totally up to you. That's a design choice, but such a great versatile set, Window Wishes. You could use it endlessly. You know, if you want to create like really complex scenes with the house and the car and all of that, you can do that. Window Wishes also has like a trio of candles with flames that you can stamp. So many options there. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to take that tree stamp from Window Wishes. We're continuing to use the black ink, and I'm just going to stamp a partial tree on either side. So depending on the way that you line up your windows, you might have more space on one side than the other, or if you get it pretty even, if you get it pretty centered, then you're going to have enough to stamp a partial tree on each side. And now you can decide which stamp you want to use. Scary Cute comes with this little banner die, and all of the sentiments fit on that banner. So whichever one you want to use. I ended up doing the Trick or Treat sentiment, and I stamped it in Orchid Oasis ink, which is one of those in colors that we used for the background. You could use your basic black, you could use pumpkin pie, whatever you want. Now we are going to place that on dimensionals. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding in those bats because they're just too good not to use. So with the bats, there's no necessarily rhyme or reason to it. I did want to have a large, medium, and small bat on some of the orange, on some of the pumpkin pie paper because they stand out so fabulously with that. And then I just did a different variety of sizes of the bats flying around the trick-or-treaters too. So you can decide what works for you. I did have a little moon there. I decided not to put it on there. I just decided to leave the sentiment, the only basic white piece that you see on the card front. But it just creates this really cute little Halloween scene that I hope that you guys really love. Okay, and so for the Christmas version of the card, again, I will have all of the information on my blog. I will also have all of the information for the Christmas card on my project sheet. I'm going to put the picture up again here so that you guys can see it and reference. It is the Family and Friends stamp set that we are using for the window scenes in the Christmas version of the card. So we're still using the Gingham Cottage paper. We're still using the Window Wishes bundle. Same layout. The only difference is that the scene that we're setting is with family and friends instead of scary cute. So just so that you know and can see the difference there. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. When you subscribe, like, comment, or share, it lets YouTube know and it lets me know that you're enjoying the products that you're seeing. And don't forget to stay tuned for the next video.